Discover the miraculous wisdom of Proverbs, transforming tired hearts into divine blessings. In the 3rd year of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, the people of Israel were in turmoil. They looked up to the majestic seat of Solomon, their wise king, ruling from Jerusalem. His reputation spread far and wide, a testament to the wisdom granted by God. The sun shone brightly, illuminating the gathered crowd, each face reflecting the weight of their hopes and fears under the vast sky. The air was thick with expectation, palpable and alive. As the throng surrounded the throne, 2 women emerged from the restless masses. Miriam stood tall, her fierce gaze fierce as fire, unwavering and determined. Opposite her, Leah cowered, cradling her infant to her chest, a fragile bastion of hope against the despair threatening to consume her. The murmurs of the crowd hung like a storm cloud overhead, sensing the gravity of the unfolding drama. Each voice whispered in hushed tones, contemplating the truth of the claims laid before their sovereign. The briefest of moments passed as Solomon surveyed the situation. He listened intently to their conflicting stories, woven with threads of pain and desperation. Miriam spoke of her sleepless nights, enduring loss and heartache while nurturing a young heart. Leah countered with her own tale of grief, recounting the endless love for the child she bore. As each woman recounted her woes, the king's discerning spirit sensed the deeper emotional currents beneath their words. This was not merely about a child, it was about love and loss, identity and survival. With every heartbeat resonating in the silence, Solomon's thoughts brimmed with wisdom. He recalled the Proverbs, the divine insights that echoed within him. In a world fraught with confusion, a king was called to discern truth amidst the clamor. Gathering his resolve, he searched for a way to reveal the depths of a mother's heart. "Bring me a sword," he commanded, his steady voice ringing across the court. A shocked gasp rippled through the crowd, the very air thickened with anticipation. Was this the extent of his judgment? Their eyes followed as the sword glinted ominously in the sunlight. "Cut the child in 2, and give each woman half," he decreed, a grim test of motherhood prepared to unfold. Silence swallowed the realm as Leah's anguished plea broke through the weighty air. "No. My lord, let her keep the child. Do not harm him." The raw desperation in her cry shattered the tension, revealing her true nature as a mother. Solomon's heart leapt with realization, the truth unveiled itself with ferocious clarity. "Give the child to Leah," he declared with divine authority, his voice firm. The crowd erupted in awe, the air crackling with revelation. In that enchanted moment of clarity, a child was redeemed, and the community breathed a collective sigh of relief, changed forever by Solomon's wisdom. Before we continue with this incredible biblical account, I want to make sure you don't miss any of these powerful scripture stories. Click the bell icon and select all notifications. These biblical narratives have transformed countless lives throughout history. If God's word through this story is blessing you, please like and share with someone who needs to hear about God's faithfulness today. Tell me in the comments, which biblical story has most impacted your faith journey? I'm always amazed how God's word speaks to hearts across generations. Now let's continue with what the Lord did next. Yet, with all the joy in his heart, Solomon's spirit stirred within him. The echoes of that day lingered beyond its immediate surprise, forcing him to ponder the multitude of hearts yearning for the same discernment. How many more stories lay hidden, waiting for divine wisdom to call them forth? The power of love, truth, and loss in their lives mirrored the struggles of all who sought the understanding of their Creator. In the vibrant heart of Jerusalem, the question remained, how would they find healing amidst their trials? As Solomon reflected, the mystery of God's plan beckoned, revealing that divine revelation awaits those willing to seek. As days turned to weeks, the kingdom of Judah thrived under Solomon's reign. The people marveled at his wisdom, and his reputation reached beyond the borders of Israel. Yet, in the quiet chambers of his heart, the king wrestled with heavier burdens, recognizing that wisdom is not mere counsel, it is a reflection of the divine purpose. In the stillness of a sun-drenched afternoon, while the streets of Jerusalem bustled with life, a messenger arrived with tidings that would test Solomon's discernment once more. The man's face was pale and etched with worry as he approached the throne, bowing low before the king. "My lord, a great affliction has come upon our people. There are whispers of rebellion among the tribes, and the peace we have strived to maintain is faltering." The faces of the council members darkened at the news, and a murmur of unrest began to ripple through the court. Solomon, however, was not swayed by fear. He understood that within every disturbance lay an opportunity for divine revelation. He raised his hand, stilling the tremors of discontent. "Let us seek the counsel of God in prayer. For a heart burdened with worry cannot discern the path of the wise." With that, he led his council into deep prayer, lifting their voices to the heavens. The air crackled with anticipation as they collectively sought divine insight. As dusk settled over Jerusalem, the twilight sky mimicked the weight in the hearts of the king and his ministers. In that sacred moment, as silence enveloped them, Solomon felt the stirrings of a profound conviction. A vision illuminated his mind, a vision of the 10 tribes, each yearning for recognition and unity under the covenant made by their forefathers. The wails of their future filled his ears, echoing their longing for a shepherd who would lead them back to a righteous path. Suddenly, a thought pierced through the haze. Perhaps the way forward lay in the hearts of the people themselves. He recalled the wisdom penned in Proverbs: "A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." Proverbs 15 verse 1. Gathering his thoughts, he stood before his people once more, his voice firm yet drenched in compassion. "Listen, O Israel. We are one people under the Lord our God. Let us not be divided by grievances and fears. In unity, there is strength, in understanding, there is healing. Come forth, ye leaders of the tribes, and let us speak of our grievances face to face, for it is together that we shall build the path to peace." As the leaders responded to the call, the tensions began to ebb. Solomon sat among them, a wise mediator, guiding the discussions with his discerning spirit through the challenges laid bare before them. In each exchange, the echoes of wisdom resounded, nurturing the seeds of reconciliation until finally, common ground was found. The council concluded with shouts of agreement and a new resolve to stand together. Solomon rejoiced as he beheld the reflection of his God-given wisdom manifest in the hearts of his people, yet, in this victory, a whisper of concern lingered in the king's heart. What storms lay ahead, deceptions yet unseen, within the very fabric of their unity? He felt the weight of the divine tension mount as he received a quiet conviction that there was more to God's unfolding plan. "Lord, grant us further revelation," he murmured in prayer, sensing that the truth was veiled beyond this moment of peace. Little did he know, God's sovereign plan was intricately intertwined with the fate of his kingdom. The air thickened with the promise of transformation, hinting at trials yet to come that would challenge their unity, revealing who would stand strong amidst the shifting sands of their faith. In the days that followed the council's resolution, a tension woven with anticipation lingered throughout the land. Solomon, clothed in royal garments, walked the splendid halls adorned with gold and cedar. Yet, the brilliance of his kingdom seemed to cast shadows, for he could not shake the unease that nestled within his spirit. One evening, as dusk cloaked the city in golden hues, Solomon ascended the steps to the altar of the Lord. The scent of incense wafted through the air as he offered up a petition of gratitude intertwined with supplication. "O God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, grant me the wisdom to shepherd this people according to thy will. Keep their hearts steadfast when the winds of trial blow." As Solomon prayed, the Lord spoke unto him, saying, "Because you have asked for wisdom to govern my people, and have not sought long life or riches, behold, I will grant you wisdom beyond measure and a heart to discern between good and evil. Yet, take heed, for the path of wisdom is laden with tests." Filled with reverence, Solomon received the promise, yet he sensed that this blessing carried a weight, one that would demand his steadfastness. Returning to his chamber, he contemplated the future and the covenant that bound the tribes of Israel. His heart ached, for within the joy of knowledge lingered the shadow of choices yet to be revealed. Meanwhile, in the outskirts of the kingdom, stirrings of discontent began to swell. Jeroboam, a man of valor from the tribe of Ephraim, felt the surge of ambition rise within him. Having served as a labor leader during the building of Solomon's temple, he witnessed the burdensome labor placed upon the people. The murmurs of the disaffected drew him, for he desired to champion their cause. One fateful day, Jeroboam's heart ignited with a resolve. He gathered the elders of the tribes, telling them, "Your yoke is heavy, and your burdens are great. Let us appeal to King Solomon for relief, for he will hear our cries if we unite." Encouraged by his fervor, they agreed, and together they made their way to the royal court, a blend of determination and fear in their steps. The council, once an assembly of peace, now bore the shadows of an impending storm. Solomon, seated upon his throne, recognized the anxious faces before him, their voices a chorus rising with demands for lighter burdens. Jeroboam stepped forward, emboldened yet trembling. "O king, your servants have come to seek mercy. The labor laid upon us is too great, and our hearts are weary." Upon hearing these words, a deep silence fell upon the court. Solomon, filled with the weight of divine wisdom, approached the matter with caution. He desired to engage the heart of the matter, reflecting on the lessons learned in the quiet chambers of his spirit. "Gather, then, and I will give you an answer. For in the multitude of counsel there is safety," Solomon replied, recalling the wisdom of Proverbs. "But let us first seek the counsel of the Lord." In that moment, as the people awaited his declaration, the atmosphere thickened with unspoken tensions, a brewing conflict cloaked by the desolation in their hearts. That night, as the king lay upon his bed, visions troubled him. Voices from the past echoed through his mind, reminding him of the covenant made with David, and the promise that God would never forsake his people if they remained faithful. Yet, he pondered the muggy unrest among them. "Lord, what must I do?" Solomon murmured into the stillness, while outside, the wind rustled loathsome whispers amidst the trees. Little did he know that the seeds of division had been sown, and soon he would understand more profoundly the depths of his own heart and that of his kingdom, a revelation of wisdom beyond the ken of man, for God's sovereign plan, woven through the fabric of history, was poised to unfold in ways yet unseen, inviting every heart to seek his ways amidst the trials that lay just ahead. And it came to pass that on the morrow, the elders gathered once more, their hearts heavy with the burden of their plight. Solomon, having sought the Lord through the night, arose with a countenance both grave and resolute. As the sun spilled its light upon the city, he called for the assembly to gather before him. "People of Israel," he began, his voice steady, "I have sought the counsel of the Lord concerning your cries. I have received wisdom that will guide our path. You say your burdens are heavy, and I hear the pain within your voices. Yet allow my words to be heard with the ears of readiness. Wisdom often demands more than mere relief." The elders bowed their heads, acknowledging the weight of his words. "Speak, O king, we shall listen. Your fathers have held fast to the yoke of the Lord, and they have prospered. Shall we not consider that our trials may yet refine us, bringing forth strength?" Solomon continued. "Yet I perceive your hearts are weary. Therefore, I shall seek to lighten your load, but let us not forget the covenant we bear." In that moment, he called forth an assembly of his servants and advisers. "Let each tribe be represented, and let their voices be weighed as I deliberate on the path ahead." The assembly buzzed with murmurs as men from every tribe stepped forward. Then came one, a wise elder of ancient days, who raised his voice above the din. "O king, while we are but lowly servants, our existence in the richness of the vine comes from the heart of the vine-keeper. Speak to us words that unite rather than divide. Let us plead for a day of rest, a sacred day unto the Lord, that our families may fortify their spirits." The wisdom of this elder struck a chord within Solomon. "Indeed," he responded, "a day for rest shall strengthen the soul. This shall be a sign among you that you may not forget the covenant of the Lord your God." As murmurs of agreement washed over the crowd, Jeroboam, emboldened by the spirit of the gathering, stepped forth. "My lord, if we are granted this day of rest, will you also lighten the burdens we bear in our labor? Your many demands for structures of great splendor have cumbered our shoulders." Solomon hesitated, the weight of Jeroboam's words pressing heavily upon him. The wisdom he had received echoed in his mind: a leader must navigate the course between justice and mercy. "I shall consult with my advisers, and in 3 days I will return with a command that speaks truth to your cause." Yet little did he know that the seeds of leadership had taken root in Jeroboam's heart, for the whispers of ambition grew ever louder, entwining with the cries of his people. That night, as Solomon sought the Lord's direction, He felt a disquieting presence about him, an omen of what was yet to come. The vision of a great division loomed before him like a threatening cloud, and he turned in prayer. O Lord, grant me discernment, show me thy ways, for my heart is troubled. How shall I guide your people, should they choose paths contrary to your will? In that sacred hour, the Lord spoke, Know this, Solomon, the hearts of men bend like the reeds in the wind. Yet, it is I who shall judge their ways. The path ahead is fraught with trials, which will reveal the mettle of your reign. As the solemn night deepened, a shivering of fear and hope intertwined within Solomon's spirit, a harbinger of the trial that would prove his wisdom. For God's sovereign plan, unbeknownst to the hearts of men, was unfolding, beckoning all Jerusalem toward a pivotal moment that would echo through generations, a choice that would bear fruit intertwined with destiny. And it came to pass, on the third day, that Solomon assembled the people before him once more. From the smallest to the greatest, they gathered, their hearts expectant, as he took his place upon the throne, his countenance both regal and grave. Israel, he proclaimed with a voice like the sound of rushing waters, before me stands the fate of our nation, a weighty matter of justice and mercy. I have called upon the Lord, and he has answered me in ways that are mysterious and profound. Hear now the edict I set before you. As a hush fell over the assembly, Solomon continued, You have cried out for deliverance from laborious toil, and I have sought a way to bring light to your burden. Behold, henceforth, the Sabbath day shall be a holy day unto the Lord, a day of rest and restoration, when every man shall cease from his labor and know that your strength comes from him. A wave of relief swept through the crowd, and many lifted their hands in gratitude, yet amongst them stood Jeroboam, his countenance betraying unease. O king, he interjected with a heart unyielding, a day of rest is indeed a blessing, yet what of the many tributes and taxes that seek the lifeblood of our kin? Shall we not also seek relief from these heavy yokes? Solomon, sensing a rising tide within the assembly, met Jeroboam's gaze, reading the ambition that flickered within. Wisdom demands balance, he replied, but understand this, a people united under the Lord shall prosper. Therefore, I shall not lighten your tributes until this rest is enshrined in your hearts. Then an elder from the tribe of Ephraim arose, his voice trembling but fervent. King, while we are grateful for relief, we shall bear the weight no longer, lest our hearts grow bitter and our spirits wane. Will you not reconsider the counsel of your heart that seeks science over empathy? Solomon pondered the multitude of voices, feeling the shift in the atmosphere akin to a storm brewing. Great wisdom lies in seeking unity amid division. If the people find no relief, then unrest shall grow as a vine choking the tree of Israel. And that very night, beneath the stars that glinted like thousands of watchful eyes, Solomon retreated to the sacred place where he had first encountered the Lord. There he poured out his soul, pleading for insight, for understanding in this cryptic hour. O Lord, I tremble at the cries of your people, yet have a heart to discern your will. Grant me the wisdom to govern them as you see fit. And behold, in that sacred place, the Lord appeared to Solomon once more, his voice resonating as thunder in the still night. Fear not, Solomon, for I shall unveil your path. The hearts of your people are like clay in the hands of the potter. Trust not in your own understanding, but in my guiding hand. Solomon felt a peace wash over him, yet a fervor ignited within a profound sense of urgency. The vision of division persisted, yet it was intertwined with the promise of unity through a true understanding of the heart. As dawn broke upon Jerusalem, casting golden rays across the sacred temple, Solomon stood upon the steps and cried out, Seek the Lord with all your hearts, O Israel. For the path you walk may lead to trials, but through him who is faithful, we shall emerge refined as silver. And in that moment, the very air seemed to hold its breath, for the choices made from this day would reverberate through epochs, shaping destinies. Little did they know, the tapestry of divine purpose was being woven, and through their struggles, God's sovereign plan would unfold, for indeed, the time had come when the choices made in the hearts of men would lead to either exaltation or ruin, a reckoning before the God who reigns. And it came to pass, that the sun rose higher over Jerusalem, and the gathered assembly began to murmur among themselves. With anticipation tinged by unease, every eye was fixed upon King Solomon, who stood poised to address their plight anew. People of Israel, Solomon began, his voice steady and full of gravitas, the Lord has placed upon my heart a message to bring comfort and guidance to your weary spirits. You cry for relief from burdens, yet was not the creation great, and the Sabbath a gift? In it lies the promise of reformation, of restoration. A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd, yet the spirit of contention lingered, particularly among the tribes of Joseph, who looked upon Jeroboam with expectant eyes. Then, Jeroboam spoke again, the fire of ambition animated within him. O wise king, we desire not only rest but justice. If the hand that guides us is bound by chains of tribute, how can we truly rest? Must we not also have a voice in the councils of leadership, that our needs might be met? Solomon turned his attention towards Jeroboam, and for a while, silence reigned as the weight of words settled like dust in the air. Hearken unto me, Jeroboam, and all you children of Israel. The Lord has shown me that in unity lies your strength. If tributes weigh heavy upon you, let each heart turn towards love and understanding, for a divided kingdom cannot stand. Make peace with one another, as you seek peace with your God. As Solomon spoke, a spirit of discernment moved through the assembly, and some began to nod, while others wrestled with unease. The elder from Ephraim once again stepped forward, his voice trembling yet resolute. O king, the counsel is wise, yet our hearts ache for justice. What shall become of those who suffer whilst the wealthy flourish? With compassion lighting his countenance, Solomon replied, In days past, the Lord sent forth prophets to call forth righteousness and mercy. Let us seek the counsel of the wise among us, that we might hear the truth without veil, and instead of standing apart, come together as one people blessed by God's providence. The crowd began to shift, the stirrings of hope mingled with their concerns. As Solomon beckoned, let us gather representatives from each tribe, those who know the hearts of your people. Together, we shall measure the needs against the tributes required, that we may find a rightful path forward. And thus, in a spirit of cooperation, they began to select those among them who would serve as emissaries of their fears and aspirations, each tribe clinging to a shared sense of purpose. Little did they know that this gathering would become a turning point, shaping alliances that would ripple through generations. Yet even within this burgeoning unity, Solomon sensed the lingering shadows of discord. O Israel, do not lose heart, for the Lord our God has plans beyond this moment. Wisdom shall be our guide, yet as times change, so too must our hearts. Trust in his sovereign ways, for the trials ahead will lead you into deeper waters. And as the crowd dispersed, there was a looming awareness that a greater test awaited them, one that would shake the very foundations of their unity. For even as they rallied towards a common goal, a whisper of unrest began to echo through the land, a reminder that the path to true peace and justice was wrought with challenge. Would they hold steadfast to the heart of God's calling, or would divisions arise that none could foresee? As the shadows lengthened, a sense of urgency gripped Solomon's heart. The divine plan was set in motion, yet he pondered, what shall come forth from this covenant of hearts? What lessons will the Lord unveil in his masterful tapestry? For indeed, the time had come for choices to be made, and the fates of many hung in the balance, awaiting the divine resolution that only the Lord could reveal. In the days that followed, the representatives from the 12 tribes converged before Solomon in the great hall, their hearts a mingling of hope and trepidation. They brought with them diverse voices, each laden with the weight of their people's burdens. King Solomon, adorned in his kingly regalia, rose with a countenance marked by both thoughtfulness and divine purpose. Men of Israel, he began, today we gather not merely to voice grievances, but to seek the counsel of the Most High. For our struggles may hold the key to his divine wisdom. His eyes swept across the assembly, discerning the hearts that beat beneath their garments. Jeroboam, standing firm amidst the throng, declared, O king, our toil has wearied us, and many among us suffer unfairly. Let us not merely speak of justice, let us devise a plan that safeguards the welfare of the least among us. Solomon nodded, recognizing the passion that animated Jeroboam's plea. Then let us consider how we might establish equity. For the scriptures remind us in Proverbs 21 verse 15, when justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous but terror to evildoers. The murmurs of agreement rippled like the gentle waves upon the sea. The representatives shared their concerns, a tapestry of grievances unfolded heavy tributes that burdened the poor, the plight of those who could not provide for their families, the cries of the widow and the orphan. Solomon listened intently, knowing these voices were not mere complaints but burdens placed upon his heart by the Lord. "Let us consider a new standard of tributes," Solomon proposed. "Instead of taking from the grain of the harvest at a grievous rate, let us set aside a portion for the needy. We shall create a storehouse, a sanctuary for our brothers and sisters who lack the basic needs of life." At this, a spirit of energy ignited among the people, yet dissent brewed silently in the corners of the hall. Some murmured that such generosity could weaken their kingdom, others whispered of rebellion stirred by Jeroboam's growing influence. The elder from Judah raised his hand, respect and hesitation mingling in his voice. "O king, how shall we ensure that those who lead shall also follow? For mercy cannot be given without accountability." "Indeed," Solomon assented, "and thus we shall appoint overseers from each tribe, men of integrity. They shall oversee the supplies and ensure that provisions are equitably shared. Thus, shall we cultivate not only unity but responsibility." In that moment, a soft murmur of agreement enveloped the hall, and Solomon saw a glimmer of hope arise among weary hearts, but even as they began to speak of collaboration and service, the shadows of division lingered. A distant figure lurked at the edge of the gathering, cloaked in the guise of neutrality. Abijah, son of Jeroboam, listened keenly, his ambition weaving dreams of his own. As the meeting drew to a close, Solomon prayed earnestly, lifting his gaze toward the heavens. "O Lord of hosts, reveal your sovereign will. Let this counsel not only heal our land, but fortify our spirits against the trials yet to come." Then, in a moment of profound revelation, the Spirit of the Lord fell upon Solomon. "A new covenant shall blossom from the roots of this assembly," he proclaimed to the gathered. "And from it shall come forth a leader who carries the heart of my people, although strife may rise to test their unity." The weight of these words fell heavy upon the assembly, as they realized that their choices held a significance beyond themselves. With each voice raised in testimony, they sowed seeds that would forever alter the landscape of their nation. Thus, with a heart attuned to God's purpose, they departed from the hall, unaware that the path to their future would soon beckon them forward into the depths of God's grand design. For in the tapestry of his plan, threads of both discord and harmony would intertwine, leading toward something none could yet fathom. What would become of the chosen people as they sought after the Lord's own heart? The answer lay hidden just beyond the horizon, awaiting the dawn of revelation. As the sun dipped low over the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, a sense of urgency gripped the hearts of the people. They had departed from the great hall, yet Solomon's words echoed in their minds, planting seeds of both hope and trepidation. In the days that followed, murmurs of the king's proposal began to circulate beyond the palace walls, reaching the ears of the tribes scattered across the hills and valleys of Israel. The promise of a storehouse for the needy incited a mix of optimism and skepticism. Many found encouragement in the thought that their burdens might be lifted, yet others feared that Solomon's compassion could spell weakness for the nation. Jeroboam, sensing the swell of unrest, gathered a band of like-minded men from Ephraim. They convened under the shade of a great oak tree, their voices hushed but fervent. "We must prepare," Jeroboam urged, "for the hearts of the people are swayed by the winds of change. If we are to lead them, we must stand as one united against any who would undermine our inheritance." Among those gathered was Abijah. His heart danced with ambition, yet a sense of rivalry brewed as he listened to Jeroboam's rallying call. Abijah believed that within this burgeoning movement lay opportunities for both glory and influence. "Brother," he interjected smoothly, "we stand at a crossroads. What if among the overseers named by the king, we might place ourselves? Let us seize this moment to guide the tide." A murmur of agreement arose, entwined with whispers of danger. More than ever, the air was thick with a tension that felt like an approaching storm. Jeroboam, caught between ambition and integrity, pondered the heart of his brother's propositions. Could their vision of leadership coincide with the plans drawn by the Almighty? Meanwhile, in the palace, Solomon discerned the stirring unrest among his people. Prostrate before the Lord, he sought clarity. O Lord of Israel, the hearts of your children are divided, and yet they long for both mercy and justice. Grant me wisdom to guide them through this storm. The weight of intercession settled heavily upon him as his prayers ascended like incense in the sanctuary. In that sacred moment, the Spirit of the Lord stirred within him once again, whispering profound truths. Go forth, O Solomon, and declare to this people, the blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. Remind them that unity and humility precede the strength they seek. Empowered by the divine assurance, Solomon arose. Wrapped in royal garments, he made his way to the gathering grounds, where throngs awaited, their eyes wide with expectation. Hear me, people of Israel. He called, his voice cutting through the murmurs. You have come seeking justice, and in your quest for equity, do not forget the commandment of the Lord, love your neighbor as yourself, Leviticus 19 verse 18. Let not your hearts be hardened by bitterness, but open to the kindness of God. As he spoke, Abijah's gaze flickered towards Jeroboam, struggling with the conflict raging within him. Would he stand in loyalty to his brother, or would he allow ambition to conquer his heart? The very air crackled with anticipation, for the decisions made in this hour would echo throughout generations, yet unbeknownst to all, beyond the walls of the palace, a darkness loomed. Uncertain motives brewed within Abijah's heart, lurking like a shadow beneath the surface of unity. What ripple effect would his choice create? Thus, the shadow of God's grand design unfurled, its complexity growing deeper. For within the hearts of men, both righteous and flawed, lay the threads of destiny weaving towards the tapestry of fulfillment. Would they grasp hold of the divine promise, or would they falter in the trials before them? The answer, like a door half open, awaited expression at the hands of those cherished by the Lord. And it came to pass, as Solomon stood before the gathered assembly, the air thick with expectancy, that he sensed the weight of every eye upon him. With unwavering resolve, he called upon the name of the Lord once more, seeking the counsel that only he could provide. Thus says the Lord, he proclaimed with authority, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. A hush fell over the crowd, as hearts stilled to listen. Solomon continued, let none among you forget the wisdom that God bestows upon those who seek him diligently. For the Lord delights in those who fear him, who put their hope in his unfailing love. Psalm 147 verse 11. His words resonated deeply, stirring an inner longing for reconciliation amongst the tribes, yet, within the shadows, Abijah clutched his brother's edict tightly, wrestling with ambitions that spiraled like smoke around his heart. Desiring to rise, he found himself ensnared within the very desires he sought to fulfill. A voice murmured in the recesses of his soul, can you lead, if you are divided within? Turning away from the assembly, Abijah withdrew into a secluded grove, the branches shielding him from the light. In solitude, he weighed the intentions of his heart against the clarity of Solomon's proclamation. Am I to become a leader through strife or through righteousness? He pondered aloud, uncertainty flooding his mind. Above the turmoil in the minds of men, the heavens whispered of divine providence. As Abijah wrestled with his inner demons, the Spirit of the Lord spoke softly yet profoundly, remember the path of David, a man after my own heart. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people. Proverbs 14 verse 34. Meanwhile, Jeroboam listened intently to Solomon's words, his heart burdened but steadfast. Wisdom is better than jewels, and nothing you desire can compare with her. Proverbs 8 verse 11. He pondered the significance of the king's declaration and the potential consequences that awaited if he chose unity over discord. A seed of hope began to take root within him, tempered by the understanding that true strength lay in the humility of service. Gathering his courage, Jeroboam approached Solomon amidst the throng of the crowd, determination alight in his eyes. O king, he began, we too long for peace, may we be instruments of the Lord's will among his people. Who among us is worthy to serve in the storehouse you will build? Let us not be simply overseers, but shepherds to your flock. The people murmured, intrigued by Jeroboam's approach. His words struck a chord, awakening in them a desire for authenticity and leadership that reflected divine principles, rather than mere ambition that could lead to division. As the moment hung in the balance, Abijah peered from his retreat, his heart wrestling against the tide of Jeroboam's emerging influence. Could he cast aside bitterness and join his brother in the pursuit of unity? The stakes were high, and the choice before him bore the weight of generations yet to come. In this pivotal moment, the divine shadow stretched further, weaving plans across the tapestry of history. A whisper of destiny lingered, urging every heartbeat towards the understanding that within the heart of Israel lay the seeds of both ruin and restoration, and as the sun began to set, a new chapter unfurled in the celestial narrative, leaving upon the winds the question that all would ponder: how will the choices made in this hour shape the future of God's people? Would they embrace the divine calling to lead with righteousness, or would the echoes of ambition sow discord among them? Thus, the saga continued, a dance of light and shadow orchestrated by the sovereign hand of God. And it came to pass, in the days that followed, that the hearts of Israel were heavy with anticipation and uncertainty. The tension stirred among the tribes gave rise to an undercurrent of rebellion, a tempest waiting for the moment to break. Solomon, discerning the stirrings of unrest like a watchman upon the walls, called forth the leaders once more to address the murmurs that had grown thick as smoke. "Gather, O children of Israel," he proclaimed with a voice that echoed through the courts, carrying the weight of the Almighty's charge, for we stand at a crossroads. The Lord has brought us together, yet I sense a division that could tear at the very fabric of our people. As the leaders assembled before him, the air shimmered with both expectancy and trepidation. Jeroboam, emboldened by the faith of his followers, rose at the forefront. With fervent passion, he spoke unto Solomon, "O king, the burdens upon our backs are heavy. Your promise of a path toward equity has lightened our hearts, but we seek more than merely sweet words. We desire justice for the oppressed, for they cry out, and their voices echo amidst the hills." The crowd murmured in affirmation, their spirits stirred by his plea. Solomon regarded him with a mixture of admiration and concern. "Indeed, I hear your words, faithful Jeroboam. I, too, am grieved by the afflictions of our people. Let us unite to establish a foundation of mercy that encompasses justice. A day of rest is but the beginning, I seek a lasting resolution." At this, the assembly grew hushed, soaking in the promise of unity whispered through the winds of change. "But know also," Solomon continued, his voice steady as the mountains, "that discord and ambition can unravel the threads of our covenant. Let us not stray from the heart of love for one another, for therein lies our strength." As the days turned to weeks, the watchful eyes of the kingdom shifted between their king and the rising flame of discontent leading toward Jeroboam. The roots of ambition began to grasp hold, and Abijah, torn between love for his brother and the ambition that brewed within, felt the weight of his choice press upon his heart. With longing and uncertainty, he approached Jeroboam as allies within a besieged kingdom. "Brother," he spoke, "let us forge a path of leadership that honors our God, for the hearts of our people lie heavy under burdens unjust. May we stand together and shape a new chapter that echoes righteousness." Yet even as he spoke, Abijah felt the pulse of ambition still thumping beneath the surface of his words. "Then let us rise as shepherds, leading our people toward the promise of God." Jeroboam replied, his spirit ignited. "For the Lord is calling us not just to bear burdens, but to lift them from the shoulders of the weary." And thus, together, they united those from the tribes of Joseph under a banner of hope, yet neither could discern the shadows of their intentions from those loyal to the king. But as the gathering storm of ambition loomed, Solomon, in deep prayer and supplication, sought the face of the Lord. "O God of hosts," he cried in earnest, "guide my heart to discern the path of righteousness amid the rising tide of rebellion. Let not this nation be split asunder." It was then that a vision flooded his soul, a revelation of the hearts of his people, yearning for both peace and justice, yet vulnerable to the lures of pride and division. In the profound silence of divine presence, the Lord spoke, "The choices of men, O Solomon, are a mighty river, capable of bringing forth life or destruction. Remind them of the covenant forged in love for their neighbor." And so it was that Solomon arose from prayer, a firm resolve coursing through him like the rush of a mighty stream. He summoned the people of Israel once more, their faces a canvas of hope, fear, and eagerness. "Hear me, O people of Israel," he called, his voice ringing clear as a bell, "the Lord has shown me the visions of our destinies woven together. We can rise as one, or we can fall as scattered dwellings." The crowd began to whisper. "Shall we follow this king who speaks of unity?" They wondered quietly, sensing a choice lay before them. With a heart of compassion and clarity, Solomon continued, "Let us gather all representatives and forge a council, a structure where every voice carries weight, for in this deliberate governance lies the strength of our covenant." Jeroboam felt the stirrings of hope flicker within him, yet doubted the power of such a council. "O king, will you not make it known that we desire not only our voices but also our needs to be met? For if we are to heal as one, it cannot be through hollow promises." Solomon nodded. "Then let us chair the council with leaders selected for their wisdom, integrity, and fervor for justice on behalf of the people." Thus, a dawning agreement began to take shape, yet little did they know that the resolution was but a momentary calm before the imminent storm, and so it came to pass that as preparations were made for the council, Solomon was approached once more, whispers of discontent stirring within the shadows. Abijah's ambition began to swell, and he found himself faced with a choice: a divided heart leading to unfaithfulness, or a humble heart leading toward unity. "Brother, uncertainty clouds our destiny," Abijah spoke, an urgency in his voice. "If we combine Jeroboam's ambitions, we may align our future without loss." Yet in that moment, Abijah recalled the counsel of his father, a time when ambition led to division and suffering. Thus, he sought the path of righteousness, leaving the reassurance of ambition behind. "Allow this to be our story," Abijah proclaimed. "May we remind the people that we rise united, where love and covenant uphold us all." In the final hour, when the council convened once more, all gathered to witness a rare moment of harmony. The sun was setting, painting the sky in strokes of gold, as the people felt the weight of history fold into their hearts. "Let us proceed," Solomon declared with a strength born of divine purpose. "For in our deliberate choices, we plant the seeds of either restoration or division." And as the voices rose in unity, the decision echoed through the valleys: "We choose love, compassion, and wisdom, for our hearts long for righteousness." Thus, their eyes fixed upon Solomon, a reverent hush, hope mingled with determination. And for the first time, the storm dissipated into the promise of new beginnings, with destiny twisting forward into God's sovereign plan fulfilled the decisions that carved the foundation of a united Israel, the intertwined fates, now set upon paths of righteousness. So it was, the people turned their hearts to the Lord in worship, a fervor igniting as the unity they sought dawned upon them. And it is with urgency we invite you. You need to subscribe now to stay connected to God's Word as we unveil the next powerful biblical stories. Leave a like now to help spread God's Word through the algorithm, and comment your spiritual reflections. Share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to hear God's truth. This is the moment to help spread biblical truth far and wide, for only true believers can understand the importance of supporting content that draws others nearer to Christ. Don't wait even one more second to share this powerful testimony. Your action can change lives.